10,000 years of evolution, and we barely even tapped the vastness of human potential.
Hey everybody, welcome to Too Old for Comics. I'm Steve.
And I'm Mike.
Hold on a second, Mike. I gotta look around to see if there's any bugs in here.
There's no bugs.
Well, when I say bugs, I mean bugs of the voice recording variety.
No, just the hidden cameras in case you take your shirt off.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, because once again, I've had ideas. Hollywood's been mining ideas for me again. Let's take a trip back in time really quick.
Let's do this, yes.
The year is 1997. Little Steve Grez has I stopped going. In 1997, the Grez family stopped going to church. I'd gone since I was a little kid, and
you started to get hair on your balls.
I started discovering myself.
Yep.
I started going through a creative renaissance because I started submerging myself in pop culture. Because once as everybody knows, organized religion inhibits all creativity and free thinking. So
Don't you dare talk about that, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Nothing against JC. He was a great guy, but some people have really kind of anyway.
You see how the world is today.
So I around 1997, I started coming up with all these kind of creative ideas. Little Stevie J had the creative juices were flowing. I started coming up with several Mortal Kombat characters named Gerard Hornbuckle, and there's another guy. I can't think who it was. Anyway, those characters and backstories somehow coincidentally ended up becoming canon in the Mortal Kombat movies for several years. Hornbuckle was a zombified Liu Kang who came into a Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Mm-hmm. Gerard was a king of Edenia who just got introduced in Mortal Kombat 11. I can't think of who the other guy was. I think it was some I don't know. Anyway,
the bug is inside you.
But also during that time, I was fully submerged in all things Kevin Smith, and I've been watching all Kevin Smith's movies. I had written.
Remember when he was awesome?
He's a nice guy, but he's a little too many herbs and spices.
Yeah, if you know what I mean.
But I had written a screenplay called "The Life and Times of What," which was the story was basically you could time travel through means of meditation. You basically, if you focus on memories long enough and meditated, through a certain, extent, you could travel through the astral plane. And those Dutch dolls, you can kind of go back in time and inhabit those. Rather than go back in time in the physical format, you can inhabit your younger self. If that sounds familiar, because it's the same exact premise of the fucking butterfly effect, which came out.
Goddamn Ashton Kutcher.
And Ashton Kutcher I had 3 people in my junior class read that screenplay, and coincidentally, it became a movie. Also, I had a comic book idea that I talked about on Facebook one time about a comic that involved electricity being completely eliminated and what that world would be. And the very next year, there was a show produced by J.J. Abrams and Jon Favreau called Revolution, which was the same exact fucking premise as that. So I just want to make sure there's nobody else listening right now. I mean, I know Facebook's probably listening, Google's probably listening.
Yeah. You're going to see ads for whatever it is we're talking about after this.
You're probably wondering why I'm talking about this. Because 2 weeks ago, I was with my son, and this is after Endgame, and as we discussed, Tony Stark dies.
What?
Tony Stark dies. Spoiler alert.
Damn it.
I don't know when this video is coming out, but I mean, that's what happened. So we started talking about what would happen with Iron Man, and I started going into ideas about what would happen in Phase 4. And I also came up with the idea of what that meant for Norman Osborn and how Norman Osborn would affect Phase 4. Mm-hmm. And so I spoke at that. This is also a time where we can talk about this later, but I also solved the Captain America time paradox.
Yes, please say that to these fine young gents.
Yeah.
Because I forget it.
We'll do that after we talk about the Facebook people. But anyway, basically, I made the theory that Norman Osborn would be the next Marvel Universe big main baddie in MC4. MCU 4.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said that, all of a sudden I noticed these videos popping up. Norman Osborn, the next baddie. Norman Osborn, the next main villain in the MCU. So clearly Hollywood and the internet has been mining me. They're paying close attention to my
we need to get this video out before those assholes at Comic Pop get out.
I want to get this out there right now. My theory before I become people start accusing me of being a coattail rider and just riding the train. So let's get into it right now. Marvel Universe Phase 4. Like we mentioned, Norman Osborn. Mike, you're probably wondering what my theories are.
I am wondering what your theories are. I wouldn't invite you over otherwise.
That's right. So I'm only waiting. Before I wait outside Mike's door and knock, and he's like, "Do you have any ideas?" And I'm like, "Not yet." He's like, "Well, come in when you
get out."
do.
Yeah. It's raining and it's cold. I don't care.
It's cold and there are wolves after me.
Run to your car.
So anyway, Norman Osborn. We all saw in Homecoming that Tony Stark had sold the Avengers building. A lot of people thought that was going to be Fantastic Four. I don't think it's going to be Fantastic Four at all. I don't think Fantastic Four, they're going to try to...
Maybe because they're not coming until 2021.
I don't think they're going to try to work Fantastic Four as they've always been in the Marvel Universe. They're not going to say, oh, they've been hiding in time or another planet like that. I think they're just going to start like in real time. So anyway, I think the person who's going to buy that is Norman Osborn.
Because who else could buy it other than Fantastic Four or Norman Osborn?
Who's got the cheddar cheese besides Norman Osborn?
No one.
And the reason why that's going to be so affect the Marvel Universe so much is because they're not going to use Norman Osborn in a sense where he's going to be the guy in the Goblin Glider or the broomstick with the green Goblin costume on. They're going to be going more of the Dark Reign, Secret Invasion type of Norman Osborn. He's going to buy the Avengers Tower. He's going to set up in there. I think he's also going to start the Thunderbolts. I think a lot of people are going to kind of see what happened during Endgame. I think a lot of people are going to start to turn on the heroes. It's going to be that sort of thing where the public's going to say, hey, maybe these guys are a little more trouble than they're worth, and we need somebody to police these people. Enter Norman Osborn, who's going to start his team of Thunderbolts, and was it Sword he was in charge of?
It was at the end, I think, or around the same time, I believe so.
I think they're going to put Norman Osborn in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's going to have government contracts and basically be like colluding with the government, and they're going to handpick him to be in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they're going to revamp it as Sword. He's going to get his team of Thunderbolts with Mockingbird, and since they've already introduced Matt Gargan, I think Matt Gargan is going to be the MCU Venom, because I think Kevin Feige just wants to use Venom, but Amy Pascal's kind of like holding on tight to that franchise because that's one of the few things making them money, and so Men in Black makes bank.
They can get away with having two types of Venoms.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a rumor that Deadpool might be in the Spider-Man 3, or they might try and push Venom on us.
What I think they're going to do is they're going to take Matt Gargan, make him the MCU Venom, but I don't think they're going to make him how he is in the comics. I think they're going to go like the Agent Venom route.
Yeah.
They're going to put him in that kind of gear, only because it's simpler, and it's cheaper on special effects, and and also it's just a cool costume too. So they're going to make Norman Osborn that. Also, why they're not going to do the Green Goblin thing, because if we see the Far From Home trailers, basically the Russos and Kevin Feige are trying to really make this like Tony Stark, Peter Parker relationship be more than it really is. Even though, even in the Marvel movies, they spent a total of maybe a day and a half together, and people on the internet insist they have this father-son relationship.
See, my theory for that is from personal experience of losing my father. He's not really replacing Uncle Ben or Peter's parents,
right?
So, throughout the years, I found father figures. Yeah. Never, ever did they ever replace my father. Right. But they were role models for me. And Peter's lost his parents, his uncle. Yep. And now he lost another father figure for himself, someone that he looked up to, a role model. And a lot of people are thinking, well, he's replacing Uncle Ben. Like, he was never, ever replacing Uncle Ben. He was just something for Peter to look up to have like a father figure to kind of somewhat fill that void that he has in him. And a lot of people who've lost someone like that have that need to have a father figure. I've had it, and I know other people have as well. So I don't really think he was made to replace Uncle Ben or his parents. Yeah,
I agree with that. But would you agree to the extent that the internet does, where like Tony Stark is like a father to Peter Parker?
So I want to say it wasn't so much the Russo brothers or the who's the director of Watts? No,
of Homecoming. Yeah, I have no idea. I think it was like done by a committee. Yeah. Anyway,
they weren't the ones that were making it seem like, and maybe I can relate differently to it because I mean. From the beginning, I was really relate to Spider-Man from the beginning. Yeah. When I started reading, so maybe I just see it differently. But I think it was more the internet. It's like, well, they're the ones that made Tony Stark be the father figure, right? And made him that role when the whole time it was just Peter was just looking for someone who he could relate to. They're both really smart, right? They're both into the same type of technology and stuff. and I don't think he was supposed to be a father figure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Yeah, I think that
fanboys be fanboys.
Fanboys be fanboys.
Pretty much.
But getting back to Norman Osborn, I think the fact that, like, first of all, they've done the Green Goblin 3 times already.
Yeah.
I don't think they're interested in doing that again. I think a better way to kind of make it personal for Peter Parker, since Peter Parker is so infatuated and mourning the loss of Iron Man, I think what they're going to do is Norman's going to pervert that memory of Norman Osborn by basically taking over Stark's old building. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to go the Iron Patriot route.
Yep.
And he's going to, like, sully the memory of Iron Man by, like, try to become, like, the new Iron Man, the new Tony Stark.
Yeah. And
that really, like, pissing Peter off, that making it personal for Peter Parker.
Because you got to have that, because even eventually I would love to see, and I keep bringing this up, we keep bringing it up, that post-Clone Saga Norman Osborn was some of the best Peter versus Norman Osborn.
I think you will see some of that. I don't know if Norman Osborn will know who Peter is. Maybe he will, because, I mean, he doesn't seem to be doing a good job of hiding his identity right so far.
Yeah, I mean, they could still spin the angle where he got his powers from Oscorp, and he knows that.
But the thing I think I think they're going to make Norman the Dark Reign type Norman. I think, just like Tony, he's going to have the Thunderbolts as, like, the Avengers team that Tony, like, not started, but was, like, pretty much there for the inception. And, like, he's going to have the money and the means and the influence and S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that's the route they're going to go with Norman Osborn. I also think, since everybody's screaming, but what about Secret Invasion? What about Secret Invasion? I think also Norman's going to be the one who colludes with the Skrulls. Mm-hmm. The renegade, not the refugee Skrulls, the peace-loving Skrulls, the ones who are, like, the radicals and the hell-bent on taking over Earth. I think he's going to be the one to strike a deal with those Skrulls, and that's going to kick off Secret Invasion.
And they got to build that up, too. They got to build up.
They will, yeah.
Not like, I mean, William Dafoe did a great job as Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, but they never built up that relationship of the Norman Osborn, Peter Parker saga. It was just the first movie, we're doing Norman Osborn.
At that point,
set the seeds for Norman Osborn to be that.
Oh yeah, villain. And make him interact with more than just. I mean, make him take over, like, try to, like, take over Stark Industries.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next 2 characters I think you should look out for. I think there's gonna be an Iron Man 4. Mm-hmm. Not, and everything's, oh cool, Tony's gonna be the AI. Tony's gonna be the AI. Robert Downey Jr. is all done.
Yeah.
I think what they're gonna do, Pepper Potts is gonna be in charge of Stark. They're gonna do Stark Unlimited, just like the comics. I think Harley is going to be the R&D engineer guy in charge of Stark, and he's going to be making the
Harley's the kid from Iron Man 3, right?
He's the kid from Iron Man 3 who was in the end of Endgame. I think he's going to be making all the tech and designing all the tech with Riri Williams, and that's going to be the next. It's going to be almost like a Blade Whistler type situation. Only Pepper's going to be like, he's going to basically run Stark Industries and run the Iron Man Incorporated pretty much. I think they're going to introduce Riri Williams, and I think Harley's going to be the one who's making all the tech for them.
I think they should have, like, Riri Williams be like a cousin of Rhodes.
They could do that too.
Instead of just throwing her in there.
Yeah, absolutely they could. But and that would really coincide with a lot of things Feige's been saying about like them want to make more female-centric characters and more diverse characters and inclusive characters. I think that's the route they're going to be going for. As far if they make an Iron Man 4, if they call it Iron Man 4. They could even make Harley Iron Lad. They could make Riri Williams could be Iron Maiden. Is that her name?
Something like that. Iron.
That's your Iron Man.
I forget.
I think Tony dying was the best thing to happen to the Iron Man franchise. I think Iron Man 3 people kind of were sick of Iron Man movies, and people kind of turned on Tony in fandoms also after Civil War, not just in the comics but in the movies.
Yeah.
So I think this would be the thing to kind of reboot the Iron Man franchise for a new generation, because I mean. It's been 10 years, so yeah, there's a new generation.
And then that way you can keep Rhodes on the Avengers team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it could be that separate, the new Avengers, if that ever comes out.
I think because in the comics right now, they have this thing with Dan Slott's doing with the Stark, what do they call it? Stark Unlimited. But it's basically like a whole team of like Rhodey's in it. All the Iron Man characters are in it. I think that's with Marvel being a big fan of synergy, I think that's an idea they might kind of go with. As far as the movies go,
so Gucci just applauds us your theories here.
Good job, Steve. There's people up there right now with the thing listening all the little
and Gucci saying get
lost. There's someone out in the van right now, tinted windows, and they're listening. They're like, okay, all right, the Iron Man 4 franchise.
And that's why Gucci's parking right now, so she can
get Feige on the Skype right now. We get some ideas for him. I have one other character I think is gonna besides the obvious, which is the Eternals. I'm not going to talk about them.
Yeah, who cares about them?
Adam Warlock, of course, we know he's going to show up. Although Adam Warlock does fit into my Captain America theory. I think the other character we're going to see pretty soon is Moon Knight, which Kevin Feige said he's a fan of, and he said he wants to get into the movies at some point. There's also been 2 instances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they've mentioned reference to Moon Knight. There's been in Winter Soldier, where what's his name? Who's the agent with the glasses?
Oh,
We'll call him Stickler.
Yeah, until I cannot think of his name.
But he's you know what I'm talking about. The guy, he has the glasses, he's bald, he's a scumbag. But
wasn't he killed in the Avengers: Age of Ultron?
He's killed in Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
And he's also killed in the Americans. He's great in the Americans too. He plays a great sleazeball.
Yeah.
But Sitwell, that's his name.
Yeah.
So anyway, he mentions a anchorman in Cairo, which is a reference to Mark Spector, who's one of the personalities of the Moon Knight. Also, when General Ross is pointing to all the superhero activity on the map during Civil War, there's a spot on there that has superhero activity in Egypt, which is also based on the Moon Knight mythology. So I think Moon Knight, you're going to see him introduced in some way, maybe in the Black Widow, maybe in Shang-Chi. So yeah, I think that's going to Moon Knight's going to be a character to watch aside from Riri Williams and Iron Lad and also Norman Osborn.
I still think that the Falcon with the Soldier thing on Disney Plus was just like a smoke screen.
Yep.
Because you can't end Endgame with him becoming Captain America and then throw him on Disney Plus. Me personally, I don't want him to waste an appearance on Disney Plus.
I think a lot of people were kind of upset that they didn't do the Black Widow Winter Soldier relationship they had in the comics. Here's my theory on this. Okay, now we have to go back to my theory on Captain America. A lot of people are kind of confused, myself included, how time travel worked in Endgame, what ramifications
I'm
it had.
still going by no matter how much they fought against it, the Back to the Future 2 time travel theory, and then everything's right as rain.
What do you think? So we talked on our when we did our Endgame review, we said that basically there had to be 2 Captain Americas, or he had to have killed one of them. The more I thought about it, now again, I think
mine was that Captain America, because I just recently watched it. I found some other things out that I didn't realize too.
Wait, I just recently watched it. You didn't pirate it, did you, Mike?
No, Captain America First Avenger.
All right.
Where was I again? What were we talking about?
Captain
I'm
America.
getting old.
And
that my theory was that Captain America, the original, that Captain America in the present, still went down in the ice. Cap then went back and lived his life with Peggy, while the yellow Cap was still under the ice.
That's what we talked about during our review, I believe. After I thought about it, I was talking to my son, and my son's like my muse when it comes to these ideas. He's like the Uma Thurman to my Quentin Tarantino.
I think your son is the one that's telling everyone these things.
It's crazy. I tell my son, I'm like, just like agree with me, and you'll leave breadcrumbs to like all my theories.
He's like, maybe you fucking grounded me, Dad. You asshole. I'm telling him.
I had to unground too. He'll be grounded from video games. I think he just does that to get ungrounded from video games.
You won't be grounded if you help us with Friday Night Game Night.
So anyway, Captain America goes back in time with all the Infinity Stones. Obviously he's not bringing them all back at once. I think the last 2 that he has is the Time Stone and the Soul Stone. He goes back in time to where he's about to dump the plane, and he tells Captain America from that time, do not dump the plane. This is what you do, and any other resolution other than dump the plane. Which, back watching the movie again, he didn't really have to do that anymore.
Yeah, he could have landed it.
They just wanted an excuse to freeze him. So he doesn't dump the plane, lives his life with Peggy. That Captain America who went back in time with the Infinity Gems goes to the planet with Red Skull and makes a deal with the Red Skull, which he can't refuse because Captain America is his worst enemy. Say, I'll trade my soul for Natasha's. Because if you look at there's some set photos for Black Widow, and Black Widow has not de-aged. She doesn't have the little motion cap things on there. She's the same age. I think Captain America traded his soul for her soul, got her out, gave her the Time Stone to go back to our time, and now Captain America is in the Soul Stone. But now since Thanos destroyed the Soul Stone, so all the Infinity Stones, the Soul Stone doesn't exist. So Captain America is free to leave the Soul Stone by Adam Warlock, who's going to be introduced in Guardians 3, who's his expertise is the Soul Stone. What I first thought was giving him and Red Skull by doing that Eternal Battle thing they did in the animated series. But
that was pretty cool.
But I thought it'd be better if they were both free from the Soul Stone. So now you can have, also with them doing the Eternals movie, I think since Thanos is also half Eternal, half Deviant, they're going to resurrect Thanos like they did in numerous times in the comics. Thanos has been resurrected. Plus, if we know Marvel, they can't let a good villain go away because, like we saw with Loki, he hit well with the audiences during the first Thor movie, and then like let's put him in every movie. Thanos became a big popular villain. Yeah. I think they're going to milk him for all it's worth. Also, I think.
Well, as long as you're not a Sam Raimi Spider-Man villain, you should be all set. Yeah. You might be able to make comeback.
I think they'll bring him back, and that will somehow create some kind of conflict. Him and Adam Warlock. Thanos is going to have all his memories and say, "Okay, who beat me? I need revenge. Tony Stark's dead. Who's the other guy who beat me? Captain America." And he's going to go after Captain America, and that's going to cause the other big thing. And I don't know where to go from there, but basically that's what happened to Captain America. And I think Natasha is going to be in real time now with the Soul Stone, and that's going to she'll be on the run like under the radar, just like Bucky was in Winter Soldier, I think it was, or Civil War. And I think that now you have your in for Chris Evans to come back, because he'll come back because he'll do a couple of failed movies and that stupid political bullshit, and then he'll come back to movies and stuff.
Because that'll be a good transition for Falcon to take his role as Captain America, and as long as they stay away from all that political crap like they did in the comic book, you get 3 movies with him, and then you can eventually come back. I mean. So
that's our theories right now. That's my theory on Norman Osborn.
But they got to pump out those Captain America movies back to back, because Chris Evans is only about a year older than you, I think.
Is he really?
I think he's like 40 or 39.
He's taking way better care of himself than I have.
Well, look at him.
He's an Adonis.
He's a rainbow, yeah.
Arguably, I don't know. Arguably the best Chris. I don't know. I mean,
he made me love Captain America again, hands down. I might have mentioned this in the past on the podcast, but. He made me love Captain America. I'm reading the current series, which is awesome.
Yep.
I was hoping for more of a big fight between Hydra Cap and regular Cap, but they kind of killed off Hydra Cap real quick. They set him on fire or some shit like that. But I don't think we'll see that. Or he's going to be the new Red Skull. I don't know. Either way.
Well, like I've heard on Instagram, Chris Evans is a kilf.
Kilf?
Captain. I like it.
Oh, all right. I don't think they heard you.
I'm not going to say that because there's a lot of crap going on YouTube right now. I think our channel get shut down.
Yeah, we don't want that. We want to.
So anyway, that's our theory on Marvel Phase 4. A little bit of it anyway. Put in the comments your theories. Call me out on my Captain America theories. If I find all the plot holes.
Sony probably will.
There's holes in it. There's more holes in the Phantom Menace. And that's a joke from the Clerks cartoon.
I still like Phantom Menace and those other movies. The original. Not the original. I love the originals, but I love, Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith, all that. Oh, great.
You're preaching to the choir here, buddy. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Get some notifications for some more Two Over Comics goodness. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.